Welcome to the product library tutorial for PavementLCA.com. The purpose of the custom product library is to allow users to define their own product mixes for cases when there is no match to an existing database mix. Continuing on with our tutorial files, we're sitting here in My Projects, and I'm going to click on Libraries in the left pane here, and then Product. And that opens up the product library. We have database products, which are available in the library, but not shown at the moment, and also user-defined. We've clicked this button green here, and it's user-defined, but we have none at the moment. So I'm going to add product to library. This new table opens up, and we'll give it a name. We'll make a hot mix asphalt mix. Product type, asphalt pavement HMA. I'm going to skip these boxes up here for now. I'll come back to them in a minute. And we're looking here, there's three ways to define them. You define your mixes by unit quantity. For instance, X amount of kilograms per ton of a certain material, or by percentage weight, or by percentage volume. So I'm going to go with percentage weight for this one. You'll notice here that one component has already been added to the mix, and that's automatic HMA plant process. So that is the manufactured energy at the mixing plant. And we need to add materials. So we're going to select our material type, and we're going to have our pavement aggregates. Select a material, and I'm going to go with coarse aggregate crushed stone. Add that component to the product. And you'll see it's been added down here. I'm also going to add fine aggregate crushed stone. Add that. And as well, we're going to add some bitumen. So I have to go back here to the product type, into binders, and hit bitumen, and then add it. So we've added those materials, and now we need to define those quantities. So we've decided to choose the by percentage weight method. So we go to the by weight column, and we put in our percentages here. So I'm going to go with 5.9% bitumen by weight. Fine aggregate is going to be 38.4. And coarse aggregate is going to be 55.7. And for some reason that didn't take that number, so I'll put it back in again, 38.4. And we leave the HMA process as is. It's 0% by weight, but we're adding one process per ton of asphalt. So these totals here should add up to 100%, and that's what's shown up here. It's adding up to 100%. From our database densities of each of these materials, we're calculating a product density of 2.4407 tons per meter cubed. I found that these are typically not that accurate. Mixed designs usually specify a density, so I'm going to manually override the product density, and let's say that this is going to be 2.42. So if you manually override the product density with this checkbox, we'll be using this as the mass of that, the density of that material. The other thing up here to look at is product is compacted, and it's asphalt pavement. So yes, it will be compacted. So I'm going to click compacted there. And we've got in the database a compaction factor of 1.1411. And that will come into the volume and the mass calculations later on. So we've added that. We've created that new material. I'm going to hit save. And we'll go back to our product library, and it should show up there. And there it is. Now, the other way to create a new material is maybe to copy an old material and then make some changes. And we don't have that many old materials, but if I click Include Database Products, take a few seconds, and there we've added all these database products to our table. I'm going to expand the list here to show them all. You can see them all there, and you see down here is that tutorial HMA that we've just added. So the easiest way to create a new product is to copy an old one and tweak it a little bit. So I'm going to choose this concrete benchmark 3000 psi. I'm going to open that up, and I'm going to hit. First thing I'm going to do, see up here it says database record in brackets. I'm going to hit save as new, and it's going to copy that as a user-defined product. I'm going to rename it to tutorial, maybe PCC. There we go. And this is the information of that existing mix. It's not compacted because it's a Portland cement concrete, not an asphalt concrete. Concrete pavement type over here. In this case, the calculated density up here and the overridden density are the same. So checking this box doesn't make a difference in this case. But because we're calculating this one by unit quantity, and we're going by the unit quantity contribution in these columns here, it's a simple addition of all of these materials. So that what this is saying is that coarse aggregate stone, there's 0.6609 tons of coarse aggregate stone in every ton of this material. So if we wanted to tweak this a little bit, so I'm going to leave the aggregates as is, but let's say I want to change the fly ash and the Portland cement concentration. I can click on there, and we're going to change Portland cement to 0.2385, and we're going to, pardon me, that's the fly ash box, and change that to 0.0457, and we're going to change the Portland cement box to 0.2385. And you'll see here the quantity is added up differently here, calculated or adds up to a different number, 0.225557. We before had 2.2936, and this is our calculated up here. So if we're accepting that this is the new product density, I'm going to unclick that, and we're going to use the calculated. Or if you're doing this on a spreadsheet and you figured this all out before, you can just put in 2.2557 there. Either way, that's the density we're going to use. So I've created my new tutorial PC as a copy from the others, and I'm going to click update. And there we have it. We'll have a new tutorial PCC. If I go back to the product library, I expect my database products will have disappeared, yes, but there are my two new custom product mixes. And once you've created these custom product mixes, you can use them in any project you want. So I'm going to go back to my projects, and you'll see we have our previous tutorial files here. And in HMA, I'm going to open that one up. There's our existing project. I click on project roadways. I open up the roadway itself. And you'll see down here, we used to have our Ontario HMA Super Pave in those elements, and we can change that if we want to. That new tutorial HMA will show up in the material list. And then we can go and just change the top lifts for this one. And we've just added those materials to, or replaced those materials in those lists with our new concrete asphalt product. So I click update roadway to save the changes. And if I go to reports and look at a bill of materials, and I click on bill of material, it will show up. And you'll see here we have, these are extra base materials are from another tutorial, but we've got the Ontario Super Pave 12.5 because we did not replace that material in all of the rehab steps, but we have replaced the initial construction with the tutorial HMA, the one we just created. If I go back to my projects, and you'll see the process is pretty much the same, exactly the same with concrete. roadway, I'm going to go to the project roadway. I'm going to click here. And you'll see here we have two Ontario PCCs, so I'm going to replace them with the new tutorial PCC. So we've replaced the elements in the initial construction. We're going to update the roadway, but then we should go back into the rehab schedule and replace them all there too. So I'll just click on each one of these, and we should change Ontario PCC to tutorial PCC in each of these cases. Save the changes. I'll quickly do that for the rest of them. Then I'll update the roadway again. And now if I go to reports to bill of materials, tutorial PCC, I submit a bill of materials request. And now you'll see we don't have any of that Ontario ON PCC before because we replaced all of the steps in rehab and the initial construction with our tutorial PCC. And that's it. You can create your own custom products and use them in the elements of the roadway elements or the rehab steps or extra base materials of your projects. That concludes the project library tutorial.